How's it going? Extreme volatility this week, and NIO made it back to above $20. But in my views, that's nothing to celebrate. I think at this point, NIO is vastly undervalued, particularly if you see what investors are willing to pay for competitors. And while this is all due to the extreme fear, uncertainty, and doubt out there, and some of this has been resolved in the last couple of days, still the question for now is what will be the future of NIO and also the markets in general. Regarding the market, I just made a very long post for my Patreon subscribers talking about the markets in general and also my expectations going forward, because I think that this rally could actually be rather sustained. And additionally, I've talked about SAP Health's Q4 and my take of that. And I did an update of my Excel sheet where I track SAP Health's financials, and I made a half-an-hour deep dive into that. And I did the same thing for Xunlei, which I think had stellar earnings. So should you be interested in those takes, please consider to become a patron. Now back to NIO, and we've got earnings coming up, and I'll make sure to have it covered. And in general, I think that the financials may actually not be that important this time, so that much as a spoiler, but it may actually be more about the outlook that NIO will be given. And in that context, I want to talk in this video about the ET7, which has received very positive feedback. So it was all over the Chinese media. And I think most people who have been sitting in the car or seen it live, they have actually been quite blown away by what they have seen. But there are still many question marks around this car that is poised to change NIO considerably, not only on the sales side, but also on the technology level, because it's bringing the new NT 2.0 platform finally into the market. And that one is the upgraded hardware with the better sensor suite, with the hopefully better and more efficient drivetrain technology. And here we haven't seen, or at least I haven't seen, any news yet about the prospects of how energy efficient the ET7 actually will be. The only thing that I've seen so far is this car label, by which we can see that the ET7 should consume 15.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And that would be actually a quite good energy consumption for a car of this size and the weight. But these numbers here on such a label are actually not real world numbers. And so in real life, they may actually be considerably higher. And also in more stringent tests like the EPA, they may actually be also quite worse than that. However, it's a good indication that NIO, possibly with this new platform, brings lots of innovation and upgrades on the efficiency side also to the streets, because frankly, NIOs have been quite thirsty with the older platforms now, with the ES8 for example. And so the ET7 will finally be the first car by NIO that, after NIO almost got bankrupt, will show their efforts in the area of R&D. And another question mark would be around the topic of charging. When we talk about charging in NIO, we obviously always talk just about battery swapping. But the thing is, for NIO, of course, battery swapping is just one mode of replenishing power, right? The other ones would also be supercharging and home charging. And regarding supercharging, we don't have any news yet whether or not the ET7 will actually already be able to charge with, for example, 800 volt technology. Will this be based on this platform already? I have made a video before that NIO is working on upgrading the battery swapping system to that, and also talks about how this technology will actually also be found in many new car platforms going forward. And there is no indication so far that the ET7 will actually foster this technology yet, but there are rumors, and I've seen some hints that this might be the case. So this is also not clear from the test drives so far, and we will have to see how the improvements also are on the plain supercharging side for NIO in this regard. Another big question mark is regarding the software side of the NIO. So first of all, we've seen that in some of those tests, the software wasn't yet the latest version that will ultimately be in a production car. And so it seems that NIO is still struggling and scrambling to finishing this software right for when the users will actually receive the first cars. And ultimately this is a big opportunity here for NIO to finally catch up on the software side, and now having the better in-car hardware and showing what they can deploy on such hardware. And so kind of manifesting again their image as a pioneer in the EV space. And well, from the test drives, once again, it wasn't clear what will be the ultimate state here of NIO in this regard yet. Another aspect where this also shows is in the area of autonomous driving. And well, we know that the ET7 will of course come with this new sensor suite and, for example, also LiDAR and having a very capable hardware, but the first cars, when they will be released, will not have the NAD, so the NIO's autonomous driving subscription service enabled yet. This will come out maybe by the end of this year, beginning of next year, and will be a upgraded software update again. So similar to Tesla's full self-driving, this is not coming onto the car right with the first deliveries. So in the beginning, it may just have the similar NIO Pilot assisted driving functionality that we're currently already seeing, and may actually only receive those upgraded functionalities via software update later on. But that doesn't mean that this is unusual. I think that was to be expected, and I'm actually certainly optimistic about what NIO's team there can do around Renzhao based on this new hardware. Lastly, also the open question is, like, if the ET7 should be such a groundbreaking model and this entire new platform, then NIO also needs to show that they can scale up this new platform fast enough. We've seen first images now from what is supposedly be the ET5 rolling off the NIO Park actually. I cannot verify that because actually this Weibo post got deleted again, and it seems to be in Hefei, so that's what the banner is suggesting. But it is so distant, I cannot 100% say surely that this is a NIO Park and that this is the ET5. However, from the timeline, I find it credible. We've seen that NIO is supposed to have the mass production starting in NIO Park in Q2, possibly by the end of Q2, and then being up and running actually in Q3. So that would quite match this timeline, but yet it is still an open question mark how well also the ET7 and later on the ET5 and the to-be-released ES7 can actually scale with this new platform in terms of manufacturing. So in short, these are the question marks that I hope to see lifted soon with the releases and the deliveries of the cars soon. And I think this is also what investors will actually be looking to when it comes around the earnings and the guidance and the outlook for NIO there, whether or not all of this is in line. But I will make a more specific take on my earnings expectations, as well as of course making the earnings covered here on the channel. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the deep dives in the Patreon community, and see you in the next one.